Hi there folks. What this video is about is an article that appeared in a British newspaper recently regarding NASA's lies again. NASA Opportunity rover dead. Why Mars rover can't be rescued revealed. Now NASA are claiming their Opportunity rover on Mars is dead and they cannot revive it. Now folks, here's the photo of that Opportunity rover supposed to be on Mars. If you unload or download the photo, you will find out this is 100% fake. There are a number of deliberate inserted clues by the whistleblowers telling us this photo is not taken on Mars, it's taken on the Earth, and they've inserted a number of clues to tell us that. Now folks, before I go any further, let me just say that this video here now is a remake of an earlier video of mine regarding this NASA rover. That earlier version got taken down by YouTube, most probably for either copyright or some other complaint by two NASA shills who are paid by NASA to monitor two certain British newspapers and reassure anybody reading those newspapers that these rovers are genuine and on Mars. But what they're going to find out is that was a mistake complaining about it first, because we've now got a video showing a lot more evidence that it is fake. This remake is going to be more convincing than the original video. Now folks, here's the rover they are showing in that newspaper article. NASA claim has gone dead on Mars. Now take a good look at it. How many of you believe that rover is genuine and on the planet Mars? Take a look at it. Just remember, there's an old saying, it's easy to fool somebody, but it's harder to convince them that they have been fooled. Remember that old saying. Now, something I want to point out to you all here before I disclose the faults on the fakery of this rover. Now, before we go on, let me ask you all, are you all familiar with the word coincidence? If you're not, look it up and you'll find something very important there of what I'm going to say here now. Now, when I came to Thailand 14 years ago, the little town I met the wife in, she had many friends there. We stayed there for a while, and then we moved about 60 miles away to another location. Now, about 4 years after moving to this other location in Thailand, the wife and I made a visit to Bangkok, the largest city in Thailand, and with a population of about 1 million. And surprisingly enough, walking down the street, we bumped into a wife's friend that she hadn't seen for 4 years. We just bumped into each other on the street. Now, we could go there 1,000 times after, and we'd never ever meet on the street again like that. That's what's called a coincidence. And the definition of that word you'll find in the dictionary is they met by coincidence. But that's something that only happens once. It doesn't happen on a regular basis. Now, whenever I examine these NASA fake photos, one of the first things I do is brighten it up. And you'll find that will reveal a lot of clues that you couldn't see while it is in a darker state. Now, one thing, it's obvious from this landscape here with all these perfectly rectangular or square shaped rocks, that is definitely not natural rocks on any Mars surface, folks. That's one thing. But there is more clues here on this rover that proves 100% that it is fake. 100% fake, folks. Just like Curiosity, I proved to be 100% fake in another video. I'll leave you the link to that video in the pre-report. Now, some of the faults I can see with this photo. Look at the 3 arrows on the right bottom corner. What you can see there is no tracks whatsoever in front or behind any of those 2 wheels. Whether he was going forward or back, there is no tracks on the ground whatsoever. Now that is impossible. Another thing, with the 2 bottom arrows on the left corner, there's something strange there. You look at the shape of the tread on the wheel and it's bars straight across. And if you look on the ground, there are tracks that's showing the same pattern, bars straight across, but they're not directly in front of the wheel, they're one either side. It's like as if he jumped to one side, deliberately pasted in and in the wrong place. Now, another thing, look at the arrow I've got marked A. There is something there very, very special. Just remember what I told you about the experience of meeting a friend in Bangkok. It was a coincidence. Now, you're going to see something special here now at the end of that arrow. Now there you are, look at that you've got there at the end of that arrow. You've got a track there that's nothing like the track on the wheels. It's not the same tread. The others were bars straight across. This one is a crisscross. Now what this looks like here is the track of the rover in Apollo on the moon, where all the grip bars on it are 45 degrees to the line of travel, crisscross, similar to what you've got here. Now, don't you think that's a coincidence? Now, folks, what we're going to do now is take a look at some very, very strange coincidences. Coincidences between the planet Mars, Opportunity rover, Curiosity rover, the Apollo moon rover, and the Chinese Jade Rabbit rover. Just look at this Opportunity rover here. What it's got is number 1, missing tracks, 2, fake tracks not matching the wheel pattern. Now, what we've got here is the Mars rover Curiosity. And again, we've got fake tracks on the ground that do not match the wheel pattern of the Curiosity rover. Okay, folks, we now jump from the planet Mars to the moon. And what we've got here is AS17-143-21836, Apollo rover. And like that Mars rover, it's got no tracks behind the wheels. And there you are, there's a close-up for you all to get a good look at it. And the idiot Bertie Slack can't say they've been obliterated by the astronauts' boot prints, because there is no astronaut boot prints. Now, just like I showed you, fake rover tracks on that Mars Opportunity rover, you've got the same here, look. Fake rover tracks on the moon. All the indentations are 90 degrees to the line of travel, where they should be 45, as in this photo here. This is supposed to be the genuine tracks. So we've got with the Apollo rover the same as we've got with the Mars rover: missing tracks, fake tracks, and genuine tracks. Now, folks, we're on the moon. We've jumped from Apollo to the Chinese rover now. And look what we've got here. We've got the same fault here with the Chinese rover as we had with the Apollo moon rover and as we had with the Mars rover. Fake tracks that do not match the pattern on the wheel. As you can see here, we've got a 3-tier track, and there is only a 2-tier wheel on the Chinese rover. Now, what we've got here is another photo of the Chinese rover. Two very good things about this track, folks. This one shows a 2-tier track, which it should do, but if you look at the points A and B, that's totally impossible. The only way, if such a rover made a circular track around, the only way it could get back onto that new track is somebody picking it up, turning it and dropping it down. There's no turning scuff marks, folks, at A and B. And here you are for the Chinese rover again. What you can see from the wheels here, we've got a 2-tier wheel and we've got a 2-tier track. This is showing correct. Okay folks, for the final nail in the coffin, proving that these Mars rovers are fake and not on Mars, just take a look at this photo coming up. There you are. Remember this heap of junk, this crap called the LEM? Remember when we asked why was that never tested? They always had the excuse, oh, you can't test a moon lander here on the Earth. Well, they can't provide any such excuse for these rovers, can they, folks? Because there's one thing that can be tested on the Earth, and that is, it's impossible for any of these rovers to take a selfie of themselves. Just place it in the middle of a field, everybody stand back, call it on the phone and say, okay, Curiosity, take a selfie of yourself, and let's see it done. They can't say, that can't be done on the Earth. And until they demonstrate it, all these selfies are fake.